It's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my podcast/YouTube channel. Today I'll be starting a series on my podcast and my YouTube channel that talks about relationships. Every week on Thursday, I will be speaking on a specific type of relationship and how it can go bad and how it can go good and how to improve a relationship that deals with the specific relationship I'm speaking on. Today will be an introduction to the series, and I will be speaking on relationships in general and how relationships is something that we're always going to encounter. So throughout this series, I will be speaking on how to build relationships, how to keep them, and how to know when a relationship is not going well and when a relationship is going well. So please stay tuned for the rest of my podcast/YouTube video. According to Google, relationships are the way in which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected by blood or marriage, the way in which two or more people or group regard and behave towards each other. So, different types of relationships that you may come encounter with are family relationships, friendships, acquaintanceships, romantic relationships, business relationships, teacher-student relationships, community and group relationships. So, any type of connection or communication you have with anyone, it stems from a relationship. So it's very important for us to know how to engage in relationships with people and knowing the status of the relationship we have with others, because sometimes we may feel as though we have a certain relationship with someone, but that other person does not think that you have the same relationship as them. So in order for you to really know the relationship you have with someone, make sure you ask them, what do you think our connection or relationship is? Do you think it's an acquaintanceship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, or business relationship? Try your best to be clear. Even at times, for example, like business relationships, that's kind of a no, like you kind of know that the relationship is business, or you know it's a family relationship, you know it's a teacher-student, you know it's a community group relationships. And for the community and group relationships, you can make it into either family, friend, or acquaintance. So knowing the type of relationship you have with someone is extremely important, because you don't want to put into a relationship something that you believe. However, the other person does not feel the same way because they just don't. And when you've done all these things for that person, and a lot of people automatically know that if you do something for someone, they automatically will expect that in return. And when you don't get that in return, it can hurt a lot, because you thought you had a close relationship. You thought that the relationship you guys had was great, or you had a close bond, and you probably thought you were best friends or close family members. However, the other person may not feel that way, and this can really hurt. So being open and knowing the type of relationship that you have with someone is extremely important. Relationships are something that we always encounter in life, because if you're dealing with someone, that connection or that conversation, depending on the type of relationship you have, is going to be different. For example, if you're close friends with someone, you may have a very, very close relationship that you may even have like code names. You may even have things that other people may not know, and your relationship may be a lot deeper than someone who's an acquaintance. Like family relationships, if you are related by blood, then it's a family relationship that may be even different than a friendship. Or even sometimes some friends become family members, like even though they don't have the same blood, but they become so close that they become a family member for you. Relationships are also very important as well, because in society, in order for you to have connections, in order for you to have networks, in order for you to be able to talk to people and connect with people, you have to have a relationship with people. And more than likely, the type of relationships you have with people do stem from the relationship you have with your family, particularly your parents, because your parents do show you what you want to do. Your parents are your biggest example. So more than likely, the type of relationships you have, or the way your relationships turn out to a certain extent, can be a reflection on the relationship you had with your parents, or the relationship you see your parents had with other people. So getting to know the type of person you are in a relationship is also an important thing, and I will be going into that in next episodes, because the type of person you are in a relationship is very important to know, because sometimes some people, it will take longer for them to develop a relationship with someone based off of the type of relationship they love to be in. And while some people, a relationship with someone can start quickly, like the first day they meet them, that's their best friend, that's someone who they're close to. While some people, you have to earn their trust, and other people, trust is automatically given, and you're the person who has to make that trust no longer there. So knowing the type of person you are in a relationship, or the things that you look in a relationship, regardless of the status or the type of relationship you want, it's very important. Also, knowing whether your relationship is healthy or not is something that is beneficial as well, because regardless of whether it's your family, your friends, or a business relationship, knowing if it's very beneficial to you and to your health is a big thing that needs to be known, because at times we may get into relationships that are very toxic. However, anything that we approach in life, we want it to succeed and make better. That's the typical type of approach to anything. However, at times, sometimes some relationships are not fit for you, some relationships are not good for you, or maybe you two are just not compatible people. Sometimes some people feel as though this person is in the wrong or that person is in the wrong as to why a relationship didn't work. As we know, we're all different human beings and we all do things differently. So doing things differently can sometimes make disruptions in relationships. So let's give an example, like marriage. So maybe one person likes to do this and another person likes to do that. They're not bad people. They just do things differently. And because of that, sometimes that marriage can't work. Not because those people are bad people, but they're just different people and they do things differently. So that's why a lot of people either compromise, and if they don't really want to compromise, they want to do what they want to do, especially if what they're doing isn't bad, they more than likely just separate and just move on with people who are just like them. So going into any relationship, some people may want someone who's different from them, whether it's friends, romantic, while there are other people who do want people who are the same, because they don't really have time to deal with a relationship that the other person's different, so they have to learn from them and they have to do different things or do things differently than what they were doing before. So that's why before you get into any relationship, know what you like. Do you like things that are different than you, or like people who are different than you, or do you like people who are the same as you? And if you're able to answer that question, that will help a lot with your relationships, because you won't go into a relationship where someone or something is really bothering you and you just can't get along with it. It's not that you're a bad person, it's just that we're all different and we're all not going to like everything. Compatibility is key, and that's why you will see a lot of people either go to zodiac signs to see what your zodiac sign is, to see if you guys may be compatible, or that's why people are in relationships, or they may date someone for years on years on years to make sure that, you know what, me and you could really do something great. Or friendships, they want to make sure that this friendship is truly for them, so they won't officially make you a friend until years later. However, that is something that a lot of people consider and look into so they won't break their own hearts as well as other people's hearts. That's why relationships are very important for us to speak on, because we have to know how to approach our relationships depending on the type of relationship you have, how to keep them, how to make sure that the communication is open, which at times it can be hard because a lot of people aren't communicative as to how they feel. And with that can really be a detriment to some relationships. So getting to know communication is something that is very effective in building relationships with others. Getting the perfect relationship takes time, and it can be hard at times. However, when two people are willing to come together and make sure that the relationship works, it will work. And more than likely, obviously there are exceptions to the rule. Maybe they're just two people who are just not meant to be. However, getting to know that you at least tried in the relationship is something that's very effective and something that really deals with relationships as a whole. Thank you guys so much for listening to or watching my podcast today. Thank you so much for supporting me. I will be continuing this journey with you all and making sure that we talk about relationships and how they're effective and the different types of relationships you may have and how to navigate in them. And this is something that I've always wanted to do, so I just can't wait to continue this journey with you all. I love you all. Please stay safe and healthy. Just know that you are precious, and just know that you are important, and don't let anyone feel as though you are less than in any relationship, or don't make anyone feel as though you're not worth a great relationship. I love you all. Please stay safe, and I will hear you guys or see you guys in my next podcast. Bye, lovelies.